Sutton's gonna roll along as he stands up and takes a nice look at the crowd, saying, that's right, I am back at the Rock.
Well, you score 42 your first time out, then 56, and then in week 3 you get your big play receiver back in Corey Sutton, and he picks up where he left off a week ago with a big-time catch.
The 1-2 punch here to Darrington Evans, but Evans gonna get stopped before he can gain any.
See the Chanticleers loading up the box on the Mountaineers, trying to take away what the Mountaineers do best, that run game. But we talked about it before, HB. Corey Sutton and this receiving core for the Mountaineers, very, very good. And Eli Drinkwitz and the Mountaineers making Coastal pay for loading up that box so far.
Thomas looking for the end zone. He has a man. That is Colin Reed with his first touchdown of the season.
This App State offense coming out, getting the job done. First drive, right down the field for 6. Second drive, big play action to entice the defense, and Colin Reed, exclamation point into the end zone. Very nice throw right there from Zach Thomas. The Mountaineers are in business offensively today, getting it done in a major way.
Now Chandler Staten trying to tack on the point after, and he does so for the 14-7 lead for Appalachian State. So Pierre, the Mountaineers, with a nice response defensively, and now they take the lead offensively. Back with you in a moment.
Back at the Rock here in Boone, the App State Mountaineers taking a 7-point lead. When you're so adept at running the football, you gotta make defenses respect it, but when you do that, the play action is wide open. Zach Thomas there with a nice play fake, and then into a tight window to his tight end, Colin Reed, who shows off the mitts. Mountaineers getting it done on the offensive end early.
Another kickoff here from Staten, and another touchback. And Coastal Carolina's got to be thinking, hey, are we ever going to get the chance to run back a kick? But at the same time, a little bit easier when your kickoff crew doesn't have to do much. So the Chanticleers will go back on offense here, and Pierre, that first drive, they looked like world beaters. The last drive, Appalachian State's defense had some adjustments to be able to slow them down. What do you think we see from him this time around?
Well, when we talked to head coach Jamie Chadwell, he said what we cannot do is have a bunch of 3-and-outs, give this offense opportunities to be on the field more. We have got to control this clock on the ground. We have to have sustainable drives, and they didn't do it their last time out. But you saw it was a lot of passes on that last drive. I look for the Chanticleers to go back to what they do best. Let's keep this thing on the ground. Let's turn it out, try to work on this clock, and work our way down the field to get into the painted area.
C.J. Marable with only 2 touches here thus far. Certainly expect for that to change as we roll along in this contest. Fred Payton with 4 interceptions in week 1 when he was throw heavy. So they're going to hand it off here this drive, and Appalachian State's defensive line there to stop Marable before he could get those legs churning. And we know that Coastal wants to run the ball early, and Marable's been able to beat his matchups for most of the season. But what we heard all throughout the week from the Coastal Carolina coaching staff was that this is a group in Appalachian State that doesn't have any weaknesses defensively, so they didn't feel like they could dominate any matchups like they maybe have been able to in previous weeks. Payton with the handoff here to Marable, once again going right up the gut. Once again, App State's defensive line says you're not going to get anywhere with that.
And that speaks to your point and Coach Chadwell's point. Partner, you see this defensive line just so disruptive. They're not the biggest in the world, but they're so athletic. They get penetration, which thwarts everything you're trying to do in the zone blocking scheme. And once they get that penetration, they're able to make plays at or behind the line of scrimmage. Another 3rd and long situation where the Mountaineers feel at their most comfort level. Chanticleers, not so much.
3rd and 8, Payton with the fake. Now he has Akeem Davis Gaither on him, and Davis Gaither gets to him as he's rocking the high gold socks today, and he'll dance around.
Mountaineers come with pressure, but you got to give the credit to the defensive secondary first. You see the time that it takes for this play to develop, and when Peyton can't find his first secondary receiver, that allows Akeem Davis-Gaither, who had a huge week last time out against UNC, gives him time to come up with the sack, bring down Fred Payton. Mountaineers with another huge stop, looking good after that first drive.
So now Miles Prosser back out for Coastal to punt this away. Thomas Hennigan back to return, and it's a line drive punt that Hennigan's just gonna let drop without him getting his hands on it. So that's where the Mountaineers will get the ball when we come back. Apologies, thought we had a break there, but Appalachian State's offense is running too quick for a break, Pierre, so we're gonna get going here. Zach Thomas hands off, and this time it's gonna be Daetrick Harrington that rushes ahead. And as he gets to the sideline, no space opened up, as getting him on the outside there was Chandler Chris, the cornerback that coming in had 3 interceptions. Chandler's had the ball thrown at him a lot this year. On the other side, the guy that stands opposite of him and Mallory Claiborne, another guy that's very impressive in the secondary, but he hasn't had as many attempts this year. So facing these talented Mountaineer receivers, we'll see how those guys stand up. Thomas fakes the pitch, now pitches it that way, and Harrington is once again tackled before he can get those legs moving.
You see the strength of this Coastal defense, their front 7. Again, they are so quick. They get sideline to sideline in a hurry. You see them there coming up with a big play. 30 manageable, though, for the Mountaineers, and now you got options. You can waggle, you can roll out, and the way these receivers have been getting down the field, you can go deep. That's the advantages of staying on schedule with the sticks.
Malik Williams goes in motion. Now he stands to the left of Zach Thomas. And Thomas is gonna toss to Thomas Hennigan, who shakes away and will dive across the 50-yard line. And when we spoke to head coach Elijah Drinkwitz yesterday about some of the guys that have impressed him this season, his eyes got so big when we brought up Thomas Hennigan, just saying that he has been unbelievable in every aspect this year.
Hennigan had a huge freshman campaign, so huge that last year he drove a lot of double teams, but this year with so much talent in that receiving corps, you can't double anybody, and he is paying off each and every week. You see another big-time grab and run after.
This is tossed to the outside. It's Malik Williams who's gonna throw. Does he have his man? No. So close to being a noise-breaking play there, but Thomas Hennigan couldn't come down with the catch.
Pretty ball there from Malik Williams, just off the fingertips, outstretched there of Thomas Hennigan. Flag down on the play, maybe a holding here on one of the receivers.
Yeah, that's gonna come on Corey Sutton. So even if the Mountaineers would have completed the pass, it would have been a bunch of excitement for no actual yards gained.
Folks, if that ball looked good to you at home, that's because Malik Williams, quarterback in his days in high school down in South Carolina, put a lot of touch on that ball, gave his receiver an opportunity to get to it. Mountaineer fans always get excited when they see a number 14 throwing a pass, HB.
That's for sure, and you certainly know something about that.
One of the best to ever do it at the FCS level, Armani Edwards, 2 times Walter Payton Award winner, true ball player.
One of the best to ever play here in Boone, as this play is blown dead before the Mountaineers get the snap off, and now the officials will come together.
That initial hold penalty is huge for this Coastal Carolina defense. They've been on their heels. They needed something positive in their direction, something to slow this offense down. They got it in the form of that hold. Let's see if they could take advantage of it and get the Mountaineer offense off the field.
A quick adjustment of where the spot was. And now Zach Thomas with the empty backfield finds Williams, who was a passer a moment ago. And he has a modest gain there.
Huge holding penalty, because even though you get a modest gain, let's say it's 1st and 10. Now you're at 2nd and 6, but with that penalty, now 2nd and 15, it just makes it so much tougher. But you have to take advantage of it. If you're the Chanticleers defense, you got to get this momentum back. Tough to go down 14 and you're not adept at throwing the football as you are on the ground.
They're a time of possession group as Thomas looks to the outside. It's over the head of Corey Sutton, and nice coverage that time on the outside by Chandler Christ.
Mr. Chris has been up to the task all season long coming into this one. As you said, HB, 3 picks. He gets a lot of attention because his counterpart and Mr. Claiborne on the other side, one of the most vaunted cornerbacks in the entire league coming into the season. But he has been true all year long, as Mr. Chris continues today.
So 3rd and 15 for Zach Thomas. He drops back. Now he has some pressure coming his way, and Thomas still trying to see if he can throw it. He's just going to have to toss it away. And a great job that time by the Chanticleers. You mentioned them getting behind schedule, and they're able to stand up.
Holding penalty, huge on that series. And if you're the Chanticleers, you're breathing a big sigh of relief. Mountaineers had all the momentum, trick play almost turned into big-time yardage. That penalty there just helps out a ton. Now you can get your offense back on the field, only down 7 instead of 14, and you can stay true to who you are. Keep it on the ground, try to churn this clock out, and get some more points on the board.
It'll be Xavier Sabach that's out to punt this away for the Mountaineers. And a fair catch is going to be called by Kyon Taylor, but contact was had. And we see some laundry on the field.
Going to be kick-catch interference there. Usually close to getting blocked into the return man, where the Mountaineers is going to give the Chanticleers some extra yardage and not have them backed up inside their 20.
It's been an interesting year for App State special teams unit. Some major highlights and also some blunders.
When you're dominating a football game, the last thing you want to do is have penalties. You had this Coastal team come out their first drive, look very, very impressive. And then the kick-catch interference you see there by the Mountaineers, in addition to the holding penalty on their last offensive possession. Now you give Coastal life. Now you give them momentum that they otherwise would not have had. And Fred Payton is dangerous when he has confidence and momentum.
All right, well, a special weather statement popping up on the video board here at Kidd Brewer Stadium. The folks are being told to exit the stadium. As soon as the area is considered clear, the stadium's going to reopen, and we will notify you of that. So we're going to go ahead and take a break here at Kidd Brewer. It's Appalachian State up 14-7 with just a few minutes left in the first quarter. Well, hello again. Welcome back into Kidd Brewer Stadium as Appalachian State and Coastal Carolina will resume play. The Mountaineers up 14-7 as we'll take things over here with 1:39 left in the first quarter, and the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers will go back out on the field. But Pierre, as we kind of reflect back on the first moments of this game, it was both of these teams that got it going early, starting with the Chanticleers.
Well, they came out guns a-blazing, doing what they do, getting it done on the ground. You see here Fred Payton ending that first drive with 6. They had it going early, but the Mountaineers, they said, Coastal, you want to load up the box? We're going to open you up through the air to allow space for Darrington Evans to get into the end zone. The natives were restless. Box still full. What do? Go over the top. Corey Sutton, big-time reception there, and Zach Thomas just doing what he does, finding those open spaces, tight window, but gets it in to Colin Reed. And as we stand, Mountaineers up 14-7 before that weather delay.
Well, Pierre, you've played in a lot of games on the gridiron. Have you ever been in anything like this where you had this long of a delay due to the weather, unfortunately, here today, and are going to have to come back out on the field after it not being the time you thought you were going to come out? You've been sitting in the locker room for a while. You might not have as big of a crowd as you did for the initial kickoff at 3:30. How do you respond to this if you're wearing one of those helmets out there?
My very first collegiate game, Laramie, Wyoming, the University of Wyoming. We were off to a horrible start, 21 Lovelace early. They had hail, they had lightning, they had some of everything. We thought that going into the locker room would be a time for us to regroup, get back on track, maybe come out and make it a game. Didn't do us any good, HB. We still got blasted in that one, but for these two teams, it was a lot of back and forth action early. The defense is on their heels a lot in this one, more so Coastal. And this one, the Mountaineers, obviously on that first drive, were in the same position, but it gives the defensive coordinators time to make adjustments, to let the defenses know, all right, this is what we've seen, this is what we need to do differently to slow down these very explosive offenses. And offensively, you just can't wait to take the field again so you can pick up where you left off.
Does this excite you if you're a player, or are you sitting in there going, man, I wish we wouldn't have had to have dealt with this, or maybe get rid of some of those nerves? For Coastal, this is a crew that had 55 players coming in that had never played at the Rock, had never played in this type of an atmosphere, and now all of a sudden they look around and they say, well, there are more fans than there would be at some stadiums that are going to come back and see a game here at Kid Brewer Stadium, but a lot of those folks are going to head home. Hopefully some of us decided to join some of them decide to join us here on ESPN Plus, but it's certainly a unique situation.
As a competitor, you're chomping at the bit. You're ready to go out and do what you've worked so hard for all week long just to get to this point. But I think it more benefits the Chanticleers because, as you said, a lot of them never been in this type of environment, this hostility on the road, conference game, and then you get a chance to get out here, get some of those early nerves out, take it back to the locker room so that you can regroup, understand where you are, make a few adjustments, and now just come out and do what you do, play ball.
There were a lot of folks in these stands that didn't want to leave. Unfortunately, they had to due to the weather and everybody's safety being put first. But this crew on the sideline for Appalachian State is fired up to see all the ones that have come back in the stadium, and we'll cheer them on for the rest of this contest. And there's some teal up in the stands on the visitors' side, so Coastal Carolina happy to see their faithful come back in as well. It's going to be under the lights here the rest of the way, and there's no better way to play college football than with those shining down.
Coastal can't wait to get back on the field offensively. They finally got their first stop on the defensive end of the football field, and you thought that they were going to take that momentum on the offensive side, maybe get back on the scoreboard in that way, but just then lightning struck literally and had to take it to the locker room. But I bet those guys are excited to get out, get back to doing what they do. Look for them to stick with that ground game. You saw that first drive, a lot on the ground for Coastal. Don't have a lot of yards in that category, 39, but it was enough to get that ball down the field and into the painted area. Every other drive since, trying to put the ball in the air, maybe not in their comfort zone as they would be by keeping it on the ground. Look for them to get back there, but Ted Roof's defense has been up to task so far. Going to be a back and forth battle all day long, but you knew it with two teams who had such a great non-conference season. With the championship portion starting today, you knew they would come out guns a-blazing, fireworks in this one. Excited to see how they come out and finish.
We have been told it will be a standard 20-minute halftime, so unfortunately we won't have nonstop football, but it is going to resume. Coastal Carolina on the field, Appalachian State's defense back out there. The student section has returned, as well as some folks throughout the rest of the stadium, and they're ready to see who's going to come out on top here in game number 1 of the Sun Belt slate. It's Fred Payton back out there for Coastal Carolina. A nice start for him on the first drive as he takes it off to the right side, flips it to Marable, and now C.J. Marable rushes ahead before being tossed out of bounds by Akeem Davis-Gaither.
That's just a nice job right there of Coastal coming out, staying focused, that triple option look. You see nice read by Payton, understanding that the DN and linebacker both on him. I've got an open man in my pitch guy, CJ Marable, and he knows exactly what to do with it. Way to start out if you're Coastal coming out of the locker room break.
Who's this situation harder for, offense or defense?
Defensively, it's just tough to get back into the flow of the game till you get a few pads popping under your belt, but offensively, you're always ready to go.
Peyton fakes the handoff. Now he's going to toss to the right. He has a man open. That's the tight end, Isaiah Likely, and he's shoved out of bounds.
And you see this Coastal Carolina offense understands how difficult it is for a defensive player to come out and get back in that mindset. You see the misdirection on that play, understanding that the defense may not have that mojo going as they had earlier in the game. That time trying to use the athleticism, the speed against the Mountaineers, and then catching them backside with their big-time tight end.
Marable off to the left of Peyton here. He's going to check to the sidelines. And now the handoff does go to Marable, and he has room ahead. Marable with his eyes on the end zone, and he's going to find himself there.
How about the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina coming out of the weather delay, focused and ready to go, doing exactly what they needed to do, keep the ball on the ground. When they had success earlier in the game, it was because they were running the football, got away from it on the next two drives, but this time saying, we're gonna do what we do and live and die by it, and that time they lived and got themselves 6.
Massimo Biscardi out for the extra point here for the Chanticleers. And he's gonna put it right on through. So we're all tied up here with 23 seconds left in the first quarter.
Triple option look. Offensive line gets a great crease for CJ Marable. Couple missed tackles. You see the strength in the legs there to get past those tacklers, and then the wheels on the way to the painted area. Perfect way for the Coastal faithful, for your team to come out of that break and start or restart this football game, and we are all nodding.
So now the Chanticleers with 13 rushes in this game to 6 pass attempts. They said they're looking to be in the 20 to 25 range as far as passes. And when the rushing attack's working like it did a moment ago, they're going to be able to stick to that plan. It'll be Miles Prosser back out there to kick away here for the Chants. And back to return for Appalachian State is the always dangerous Darrington Evans. Darrington will have a chance at this one as he catches it. And now rushes ahead, sees some space as he weaves through the holes, and he'll drag his body across the 35-yard line.
Darrington Evans, one of the most explosive players in the country. Last time he was here at the Rock, he had 234 on the ground, 3 touches, and a kickoff return for a touchdown. You see him weave his way through traffic there. If you're this Mountaineer offense, you want a quick response. You want a strong response to what Coastal just did on their offensive possession.
Evans will go to breather here as it's Datrick Harrington in the backfield, and Harrington has some room ahead as he crosses the 50 before being pulled down.
Datrick Harrington, bigger back, ton of speed, lots of power, and you see there the vision to get to the point of attack and the speed to get down the field. Big time game on first down, rather.
Whistle blown before Zach Thomas could get the snap away. And that is the end of the quarter. So after one, we're all tied up. As the Chanticleers have come to Boone ready to play, and it doesn't matter the weather delay. Both of these teams are ready to go the distance. Some folks still walking up the hill, about to re-enter Kidd Brewer Stadium as Appalachian State goes on offense here to begin the second quarter. We are all tied up as the Mountaineers go back to work. It's going to be a handoff here to Harrington. He spins away from a tackler and gains a few more.
Response here critical from the Mountaineers. They're trusting Dietrich Harrington in the backfield. He does a tremendous job of just letting his strength be on display. It's very difficult to bring him down in the backfield, and just one defender, you got to game tackle this young man to get him to the ground.
Thomas looking to throw this time as he goes to the outside, has Malik Williams, and the soft hands make the catch and then gets out of bounds.
Partner, you asked earlier, which is it harder for, the offense or the defense to come back from a delay like that? And this is the reason why I say defensively, is because you need that energy. You need the crowd behind you. You need the electricity of the atmosphere to go out and do what you do defensively. And we're seeing both defenses come out a bit sluggish after the break.
Got to take advantage as Zach Thomas has all sorts of pressure on him, and getting to him on the play are a pair of defensive ends, Teron Jackson as well as Damari Kelly.
And that's the strength of this Chanticleer's defense up front. They are big, they are fast, and they are strong. And it was on full display right there, just bull rushing their way through the offensive line en route to a big-time sack.
Williams comes in motion. It's tossed to the left. This is Corey Sutton trying to get around, and he is wrapped down on the play, as that's C.J. Brewer, one of the leaders of this defense, had made sure he wasn't going to advance any further.
The team speed of Coastal just very evident in this game. They go sideline to sideline. You see a lot of green grass in front of Corey Sutton when he initially catches the balls, but after that, just white jerseys coming from all over the field. They do a great job of swarming.
Darrington Evans back in the game for the Mountaineers. As coming in motion is Colin Reed, already a touchdown here on the day. The handoff goes to Evans, and Darrington finds some space as he gets across the 30-yard line.
It's a nice play call right there by Eli Drinkwitz, understanding you got a long yardage situation, 3rd and long, and Coastal gonna be loading up for that pass. Use that speed to their disadvantage there by catching them backside with the stretch zone play and understanding where you are on the field. Doesn't have to be 3-down territory, and it looks like Eli Drinkwitz gonna roll the dice here on 4th.
Appalachian State and Coastal Carolina are one of 14 teams in the country to be perfect on 4th down attempts this year. Zach Thomas going back, throws ahead. He has Thomas Hennigan, and Hennigan spins away as now he pushes the body forward. And well, when you have as well-tuned of an offensive attack as the Mountaineers do, I guess you do have 4 downs to play with.
Nice clean pocket there for Zach Thomas. You see he finds his buddy, Mr. Thomas Hennigan, leading receiver for the Mountaineers on the season. Those two have an incredible connection.
We have an injury timeout. We'll be back with you in a moment. Mountaineers driving. Well, you see the sun shining down on one of the beautiful houses here in the area. Not too long ago, it was cloudy skies over, and we had some rain this morning. Didn't ever have any rain during the delay, but we sure had a lot of lightning, so glad that everybody's safety was put first, and they got them out of the stadium. And now a bunch of them have decided to return here as this game continues.
Huge 4th down conversion for the Mountaineers. Their last play, partner putting themselves in business, knocking on the door here for 6.
The play is going to get blown dead before Zach Thomas could hand it off, and that's going to be a delay of game. And Pierre,
full start. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Well, with the mistakes, they'll come within football games. Never going to play a clean, perfect game, but the great teams are able to overcome those mistakes. You saw within the last series, the Mountaineers picking up that sack. They get into a 3rd and long situation. Eli Drinkwitz and the boys, they don't blink. They do a great job of picking up major yardage on 3rd down, making it a 4th and manageable in that kind of no man's land situation, and then picking up the huge 4th down conversion. trying to regain the lead in this one.
Evans gets 7 yards there, so that's going to make it a 2nd and 8. And if there's an area that you look at for the Mountaineers and hope that they can improve on if you're a fan, it's the fact that they've had 24 penalties this year for 256 yards offensively. That is good for 10th in the Sun Belt. So something they're trying to improve on week by week. Thomas with the handoff here to Evans. He dances ahead, and Coastal's defensive line is eventually going to get to him, but Evans does gain a few.
It's a nice push by this offensive line to allow Darrington Evans to find a lane, pick up some pretty good yardage en route to a 3rd and very manageable. Darrington Evans got to have a big day in order for the Mountaineers to be successful.
Thomas goes to the outside to Sutton. Can a tackle be made? No. Believe that Corey Sutton got across, and indeed he did. So some fancy footwork along the sidelines gets the Mountaineers another 1st down, and now they'll have 1st and goal.
Nice play by Corey Sutton, picking up those yardage for the 1st down. Couple flags down on the far side of the field. Could be offsides or on the defense lining up in the neutral zone, or could be a formation penalty. Be interesting to see, because that was a big-time 1st down pickup there for the Mountaineers.
Let's hear what Marshall Lewis has to say.
Legal substitution, defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is the 1st down.
Those flags on the exact opposite side of where the play took place. So the officials will go over, pick those up for future use. And now the Mountaineers are sitting in a position where they basically have every option available. And this is one of those circumstances where you're not envious of defensive coordinator Chad Staggs. A lot of things the Mountaineers could do right here. They're going to decide to hand it off to Darrington Evans, and he's stopped before he can get in the end zone, as waiting for him that time was Alex Spillum, the safety.
You got 12 guys in the box, or 11 guys in the box, rather, for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers right now, trying to make it as tough as possible for the Mountaineers to be able to run the football. That's why you see the Mountaineers trying to go to the perimeter on screen passes, trying to open up that middle.
It's going to be a keep here for Zach Thomas on the outside. He dives for the pylon, and they're going to say that he is short.
Stepped out at the 1 yard line. It's a
Really
nice
got
job
the field
there.
as the runner was out of bounds at the 1 yard line.
Be able
3rd
to
down.
string that play all the way out to the sideline, not give up on the play, show that speed. Have him step out of bounds just before he gets to the pylon. Interesting to see here. 3rd and goal inside the 1. See the Mountaineers go under center at times this year. Seen them stay in shotgun. As you said, they've got so many weapons on the offensive end of the field. Be interesting to see where they go here.
They're going to go to Darrington Evans, and Evans escapes from some tacklers and finds himself in the end zone once again, his 2nd of the day.
It's just great individual effort from Darrington Evans. Big-time response from the Mountaineers. You come out after that weather delay. You give up a touchdown on defense, relatively easy, and you know that you got to respond to take away some of that confidence from the Chanticleers. They do it in a major way.
So Chandler Staten back out, looking at some fans that are walking back in the stadium. And his extra point is right down the middle. So the Mountaineers take the lead once again. Who else to do it but Darrington Evans? The bell cow comes through again. Didn't just go and hide in the bathrooms or find some hiding spot, because they were the last to want to leave the stadium and the first to re-enter. And the guys you see on the sideline are very happy that they did. The Mountaineers retake the lead 21-14. And now we'll see what this Coastal Carolina offense has in store after the kickoff here from Chandler Staten. And it's over the head once again. Another chance where Coastal Carolina was not able to bring out the kickoff.
And for the fans that came on back into the stadium, they are not disappointed. 14 points already back on the board. 21-14 Mountaineers. This one is looking to be an offensive display from both teams. Ted Roof and his defense taking the field now. Kind of got their wits about them after coming out after that delay, looking to put a kibosh on this rushing attack for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Chanticleers, though, looking for more where that came from.
Just 1 3-and-out for Coastal in this game. And that was after they looked like world beaters in their first possession. It's a handoff here to Marable, and a great jump to get him, as wrapping him up on the play was DeMarco Jackson, the inside linebacker.
Run blitz right there from Ted Roof, having his linebackers shoot the gap, not having them sit back and wait for a lineman to pull. You see DeMarco Jackson just does a tremendous job of coming off the course of his blitz to track the ball, bring it down. That's a nice play call right there by Ted Roof.
Peyton's gonna toss to the left. He has a man, and now swinging his legs ahead for a few is Javion Hiley, the sophomore wide receiver.
We've seen this a lot from the Chanticleers. When the Mountaineers have success against the run game up the middle, they go to the perimeter to open things up for that rushing attack, and in the process, getting positive yards through the air. It's a nice pitch and catch for the first down.
And we've seen some nice passes today from Peyton. They have to be pretty happy, does Coach Korn, the co-offensive coordinator, and Coach Isaac, the co-offensive coordinator, what they've seen from their quarterback. The handoff here, as getting it that time, a new guy here in the game, Reese White, who they were talking about really coming on recently. That's his first carry of the day, and he gets the Chanticleers a few.
First-year guy that co-offensive coordinator Isaac was very, very high on, saying that this kid can come in and make an immediate impact. Already has early on in the season. He's looking for even bigger things down the road, especially in this one. You got to have your rushing attack going in a hostile environment. Take some pressure off of your quarterback and doing what you do.
Peyton fakes the handoff. Now he's going to throw over the top. He has a man, and another great catch made that time by Hiley, as those two seem to have some great chemistry this drive.
And you see the pocket just clean right there for Peyton. He's able to survey the field, and that's what having an effective rushing attack does. It occupies the defense. It occupies the linebackers on that play fake, brings them up, and leaves a void right behind them. That's a nice throw from Peyton.
He is answering the call in this game from his coaching staff, his teammates, and the Chanticleers fan base. He's going to rush off to the left this time, tries to move his feet forward, and a few Mountaineers are there waiting for him. Noel Cook and Demetrius Taylor.
Talked about the speed for Coastal Carolina. The speed for the Mountaineers just as impressive. You see so many black jerseys get into the football each and every play. It's the strength of these two teams. You get a shot at Noel Cook, led the Mountaineers in tackles for loss a season ago, picking up where he left off. Just an ever-presence out there on the outside for this Ted Roof defense.
Reese White still in the game here for the Chanticleers, as Peyton's going to go to the outside, and he can't connect with his man that time, as he was looking for Shadell Bell, the redshirt senior tight end.
Had a man open out in the flat. Almost the best thing for Shadell Bell that pass not being completed, because the Mountaineers sit in cover 2, which makes you think that the flats are open, but there's a corner sitting there lurking. There for the Mountaineers was Shamar Jean Charles, ready to pounce. Lucky enough for Shadell Bell, that one bounced on the carpet before it could get to him.
So 2 strong passes this drive from Peyton. He sits here in a 3rd and 8. And some flags are thrown on the field, as some pushing back and forth between the Mountaineers and Chanticleers. And we'll see what they say this is.
This will be interesting, because 5 yards either way in this situation could make or break this drive. Hard to tell there if there was movement up front by Coastal, drawing the defense off sides, or did they just get an early jump?
Full start. Offense, number 6, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, now a disastrous situation here for the Chanticleers as we look back on this one. You see Demetrius Taylor not too happy about that little shove there.
Close call there, and that is a big-time penalty, the first of the day for the Chanticleers. But we said it, 5 yards in either direction could really make or break this drive, where the Chanticleers need to respond to this red-hot offense of the Mountaineers. Now in this 3rd and long situation where they do not want to be.
What a time for your first penalty. Peyton goes to his right. He's going to toss ahead. He has a man. And an incredible job that time of finding someone on the outside, as that was his wide receiver in Williams.
It's nice all around there for the Chanticleers. You understand that you're in 3rd and long, so the Mountaineers gonna bring pressure. So what you do is move the pocket and give your quarterback an opportunity to have an open look. That's a nice throw on the move by Peyton, getting his shoulder square and picking up the 1st down.
He's gonna hand it off to Reese White, who gets ahead of steam before he goes forward. And resistance there from the Appalachian State defense. How about that throw a moment ago?
I mean, when you're on the move, it's the most difficult throw that you can make for a quarterback. You got to be able to get your shoulder square to the line of scrimmage. That's where a lot of quarterbacks mess up at, and they force themselves into mistakes. But there, Peyton does a tremendous job of getting square to the line of scrimmage and fitting that ball into a tight window into the zone.
We were expecting to see close to a 50-50 split with these two quarterbacks, but with the way that Peyton's played thus far in this game, he's saying, I dare you to take me out of there, as this is over the head of his intended target. That's Larry Collins Jr. on the outside.
They feel like he gives them the best chance to be successful. Not only can he do it on the ground with his legs, but he can make all the throws on the field. Very comfortable. When you give him time, he can go through a progression, and so he gives you more of a multifaceted look in that triple option look, to where you just can't key in on the option. Keeps you honest as a defense.
C.J. Marable off the field for a long time, but now he's back in and to the right of Peyton. Now he's going to go out in motion. Peyton's looking down the middle. He has a man, and swinging his body ahead for another 1st down is Javon Hiley, who has been everything you could want if you're a Chanticleer fan this drive.
The fly motion slides the linebackers just out of the way enough for the backside slant for Hiley to come across the middle wide open as he gets that inside leverage on the cornerback and picks up another big-time 1st down. Coastal on the move.
Just stepping up in the pocket and delivering a dart that time from Peyton. Now Marable's going to come in motion once again. It's a fake. He's looking for the end zone. He has a man, and it is a Coastal Carolina touchdown for Isaiah Likely, the tight end.
When we talked to co-offensive coordinator Newland Isaac, he said once we get in the red zone, Isaiah Likely is deadly, and we will utilize him each and every time we get there. You see it in that situation. Big time response for the Chanticleers.
What a game this is, as we continue to tick down here when we return from this, obviously, in the 2nd quarter. But the Chanticleers and Mountaineers have come back out after delay, and the offenses are both clicking, tied up once again, 21-21.
You just take a look right here. Nice play fake to bring in the linebackers. Big body, Mr. Likely in the zone for 6. We all knotted up in the 2nd quarter.
A look at the Coastal Carolina sideline. Coastal's defensive coordinator, Chad Staggs, had a lot of nice things to say about this App State defense coming in, saying about how much talent there was and how impressed he was by the guys. And he thought that coming into this game, it was the teams that the Mountaineers were playing that were making all the plays and not necessarily Appalachian State making mistakes. Whatever you might decide it is at home right now, Coastal Carolina's in a 21-21 game. As rushing ahead and spinning out now is Darrington Evans, and he's along the sideline. A late flag comes in, but you can never count Darrington out at any point in the play, even if he has bodies all around him.
Electric each and every time he has the football in his grasp. This one may be coming back on the Mountaineers, though. Flag in the area of some sort of illegal block, whether that's holding or blocking the back.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 34. 10-yard penalties from the spot of the foul. First down.
So another penalty there for the Mountaineers, as it seems like they've had a whole host of them here in this game, and every single one of them's had a pretty big impact.
But you gotta love the way these two offenses have come out in this one. Both over 200 yards just in the second quarter. For the Chanticleers, about as balanced as you can get. Buck 0-1 through the air, 0-3 on the ground. But for the Mountaineers, it's been mostly through the air. Buck 53 in that category, just 60 yards on the ground. 42 points already in this one. If you love offense, you love this one.
Zach Thomas looking to the outside. He has Thomas Hennigan, and Hennigan's trying to create some space. He won't get to the end zone, but he is going to get a huge gain for the Mountaineers as they flip the field.
It's just one-on-one saying that my guy is better than yours. Just run past him, Thomas Hennigan, and I will get you the football on the money. It's Zach Thomas down the sideline, finding his favorite target on the season. Thomas Hennigan, big body at 6'1", 205. He is a load to try to cover and bring down in the open field. Mountaineers within one play already in business.
This Coastal Carolina defense had held every opponent under 300 yards this season, 4.5 yards per play, as Marcus Williams Jr. swings ahead, and he's going to get inside the 15-yard line. Thus far in this game, Appalachian State's now going to have over 270 yards here in the second quarter. So this elite Mountaineer offense is showing that they can do it against some of the best in the country.
Mountaineers just with a stable of backs. This here, the third back we've seen for the Mountaineers today, and Marcus Williams Jr., his greatest strength is his patience to the hole and then the vision to find the hole and burst through. It's a nice first down run.
This Appalachian State offensive line has been incredible this year. One of the highlights of head coach Elia Drinkwitz this season. Off to the right, Marcus Williams Jr. swings his feet forward, and he's going to be out of bounds before he touches the pylon, but he gets the Mountaineers
Really on the field that the runner was out of bounds
close
at
to
the
the end zone.
Talk about the patience and vision. You see it there right at the point of attack, nothing there in the middle of the field, so he uses his speed to get around that right side, nearly gets into the end zone, but these backs just keep coming at you for the Mountaineers, and they are knocking on the end zone door.
And Williams Jr. is going to stay in the game. He wants a touchdown. Darrington Evans has plenty, he says. He's going to get the handoff here, and the offensive line made sure that he got in, but there is a flag on the field, so we'll see whether this is going to count or whether the Mountaineers might be moving back. Appalachian State celebrates, as that will be a touchdown for Marcus Williams Jr. And now the backfield has 3 on the day.
Personal foul, legal hands to the face, defense number 4. 15-yard penalty to be assessed on the kickoff. Resultant play is the touchdown.
It's a statement drive right there, HB, by the App State Mountaineers, specifically their offensive line, first giving Zach Thomas plenty of protection to find his favorite target down the right sideline, and then getting them in the end zone the rest of the way. It's a big-time drive.
Chandler Staten out there to try to tack on the point after. The hold is good, the kick is as well. And now the Mountaineers retake the full touchdown lead, 28-21. How about this blocking?
Look at that push by the offensive line. You see right there in the fray for the Mountaineers, just getting that push and getting Marcus Williams Jr. into the end zone, not contacted until after he breaks the plane. That's just a big-time response right there, and back and forth we go in this seesaw battle. What a game so far, HB.
A minute 59 left here in the second quarter. We started this game at what, 3:30? Inching closer and closer to 7 o'clock, so we've been with you for a while. But both of these teams fighting as hard as they can to try to get victory number 1 here in the new Sun Belt campaign. And right now it's looking like whoever can get that first stop is the one that's going to have a good chance to put themselves in that position.
We talked with each coaching staff before we came into this game, when we said, hey, both teams so adept at running the football. You know that possessions are going to be at a premium. How do you go about your preparation for the game knowing that that's the case? And both said we've got to take advantage of each and every possession. We didn't know it was going to be a shootout to this point in the game, but I would say they are taking advantage of those possessions.
Chandler Staten's had a few touchbacks already in this one from normal distance. So you would assume that he'll have another one here kicking off from midfield, but you never know. He's going to punch it to the right side, and this will be returned for the Chanticleers. As the ball's loose, the Mountaineers are after it. It is picked up, and now it's loose once again. It looks like Coastal saying they got it back. The Mountaineers are down on the ground. Haven't seen them signal that they have it yet. Now I've seen a few different Coastal players signal that it's theirs. And we'll let the referees go ahead and tell us. Wow, it is Coastal Carolina football, as we'll have to take a look back at that one.
What a stick here, right off the back. You see right down the field, the Mountaineers making it happen. Had the ball momentarily there, but gives it up nevertheless. Great special teams play by the men in black and gold, backing up the Chanticleers offense inside of their 5. Their defense needing some assistance right now, the way that this Coastal team has been running the football. Backing them up inside the 5 could help. If you're Coastal, you're saying we're just going to continue to do what we do. We're going to continue to keep this thing on the ground, but that could be a tide shifter, if you will, HB.
The crowd letting Coastal know they're here as Peyton stands in the end zone awaiting the snap. He's going to fake, is going to have to hurry, goes to the outside, and that is over the head of his intended target, as that is Larry Collins Jr. that he was looking for on the outside.
Gutsy call right there by the Chanticleers. You're backed up on your own goal line, and you go with the play action fake for the deep shot. Whew. Just not leaving anything out there on the field, understanding what type of game that they are in. I love the call, though.
That was a full play action, too. He acted like he was going to hand it off there for a while. They are going to hand it off this time, but the Mountaineers are there before any yardage can be gained. DeMarco Jackson and company waiting.
This Mountaineer linebacking core, very physical. You see Jordan Fair and DeMarco Jackson just converge on the ball carrier. And here you see a lot of strategy. Chess match back and forth. On first down, you have an incomplete pass inside of your 5, under 2 minutes. So you give the Mountaineers a timeout. That time, they stop you for a short gain. They take their first timeout of the half. So now you can possibly stop them here on 3rd down, still have a timeout in your back pocket, and try to add to this lead before you go into the locker room break.
And that's going to be a tough punt if Coastal can't convert here out of the end zone. So it would give Appalachian State some great field position. It'll be interesting to see what the Chanticleers do here, if they just try to get some space forward, or if we see this passing attack once again.
It was obvious that the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers came here to win. So I don't think they're going to be hesitant or try to play not to lose. Be interesting to see what they try to do here inside of their 5.
Demetrius Taylor chomping at the bit off that left side. The handoff is gonna go to Marable, and the right side of the Mountaineers defensive line stops him. So now Appalachian State will have 1:31 as another timeout's called, and Coastal Carolina is gonna have to punt the football away.
And the Mountaineers have had some extreme highlights on the special teams unit this year. Already blocked the punt and scooped and scored on this young season. You're backed up in the 5. You got to expect there may be a block put on right here. Take a look at head coach Eli Drinkwitz in his first year at the helm as the head Mountaineer in charge, or HMIC, as I like to refer to him. Done a tremendous job so far, leading his team to a 3-0 record. Just continues to get better with each and every game. And on the opposite end of it, head coach Jamie Chadwell, his first full season as the head coach for the Chanticleers, served as the interim coach a couple years ago, offensive coordinator last year, has his team playing with a ton of confidence. Big non-conference schedule so far on this year. And you're seeing that confidence from both teams in this one.
Miles Prosser with a line drive kick. This is going to land in the hands of Thomas Hennigan, and he has space off the right side. Hennigan will dance out of bounds, as that's a great job with a tackle on the outside that time by Jordan Morris, the redshirt freshman cornerback for Coastal Carolina. But now, Pierre, the Mountaineers sit close or maybe in field goal range right here. And you know that this offense is thinking they can get in the end zone one more time before halftime.
And it's set up by two great plays in the third phase of the game. First, the kickoff unit for the Mountaineers, forcing the fumble and then making the tackle inside of the 5-yard line, and then forcing the punt and getting a nice return to set themselves up inside the 30, looking to extend this lead before the break.
If Appalachian State can get 10 yards this drive, they'll go over 300 yards in the game. Something that, as we told you during the last drive, has not happened against this Coastal Carolina defense all season.
A defense that's only given up 18 points per clip before this one, already given up 10 over that in the first half. Just an unbelievable offensive display on both ends.
The Chanticleers played Eastern Michigan week 1. They beat Kansas 12-7 in week number 2. That was at Kansas, a victory over Norfolk State 46-7. And then 62 points against UMass last week. A handoff to Darrington Evans. Evans bounces off a defender. He's going to be pushed out of bounds. But Darrington Evans, for a guy that when he took over as the starting running back was maybe questioned a little bit if he could be that guy that got the ball every single down, has certainly shown here throughout his time in a Mountaineer uniform that he can carry it as many times. You give him the number you want him to carry it, and that's how many times he'll be out there. Some finger pointing from both sides.
It's like that one may have been induced. So on that one, blitz fake there on the outside from the Chanticleers, forces some movement on the right side of that App State offensive line. This offense good enough on its own, 28 points already. You do not need to help them if you're the Chanticleers.
And you talk about what a huge momentum shift this could be for the Mountaineers to take the 2-touchdown lead going into halftime. Evans wrapped up before he can gain any there. But you look at this situation right now, and for the Mountaineers, you have the nice defensive stop a moment ago after the delay that we've had in this game, after the way that Coastal's played offensively. You would love to take that 2-touchdown lead going into halftime. 10 points, you might feel a little bit different. Same for the Chanticleers. Thomas looking for the end zone, and he has a man, as that is Corey Sutton waiting with arms wide open, and he's happy to find himself in the black end zone here at the Rock once again.
Big time drive right there for the Mountaineers. You're able to get the ball back in plus territory inside the 30, even and add to this lead, which is pivotal in this football game, the way the offenses are back and forth. You get the ball back to start the second half. So that was a huge 6 right there for the Neers.
I don't know if you can state how big that was, as the extra point is good. And now the Mountaineers will take that 2-touchdown lead with 45 seconds left. So we'll see whether or not the Chanticleers can have a quick strike offense here, or whether they'll just look to run out the clock and head to halftime. And yes, if you weren't with us here after we resumed, we will have a full 20-minute halftime. So Still going to have that full break. Let's take a look back at the scoring drive here as Mountaineers, 3 plays, 29 yards, just 36 seconds for that 15-yard Corey Sutton touchdown reception.
You saw on that replay, Chanticleers in quarters coverage, which means you got a high safety and a high cornerback. But what happens there is the Mountaineers do a fade route on the outside and a deep out cut that draws the cornerback up. But in quarters, you cannot let anybody get behind you. You don't have that safety help. So confusion on the back end leaves a wide open Corey Sutton in the corner of the end zone for 6.
Staten with another kickoff here and another touchback. The special teams unit has to just absolutely love that, as no opportunity for these talented returners for Coastal Carolina to bring the football out.
And it's a big drive for the Chanticleers. 45 seconds left, which is a ton of time when you have 3 timeouts. You just go down 14. You know you're not getting the ball coming out of the break. You got to go for it here. You didn't come here to lose. You came into this hostile environment. You responded well, played well so far. I wouldn't take a knee on it. I would go for it, try to put myself in a position to at least get 3.
Let's see what they have in mind. Peyton claps his hands for the ball. They hand off to Reese White, and DeMarco Jackson carries him on his shoulders as he shoves him back a few yards.
Gift and the curse this triple option, because you can get the big play like we saw earlier in this half from Coastal as they came out of the break from C.J. Marable. But it's not equipped to get the big-time play when you got to get down the field in a short amount of time. So it looks like Coastal's just going to sit on those 3 timeouts, go into the locker room break, feeling good about the way they played in the first half, but would have loved to keep the Mountaineers out of the end zone on that last offensive possession.
Their offense heads to the locker room with a lot of confidence with the way they played during that first and second quarter. Their defense possibly looking to make some adjustments at halftime. Appalachian State up 35-21. We'll be back with you in a moment. Well, this contest started at 3:30, but due to a 2-hour and 1-minute lightning delay, we now sit at halftime here at 7:12, and Pierre, for the Mountaineers, they're happy about that because they have the 2-touchdown lead.
It has been an offensive display for both teams, starting with the Chanticleers getting it done on the ground early, as you see them getting in the end zone early with Fred Payton there. The Mountaineers doing it through the air, knowing that the Chanticleers are loading up the box. So they're trying to open up things for Darrington Evans, who has 2 touches on the ground today. Crowd loving it here. But my man, Zach Thomas, has been incredible. 223 yards on 15 of 17 throws, 2 touches, including this one, and a tight window to Colin Reed. Mountaineers have had the offense going, but C.J. Marable, you knew that he was going to come back in a major way. He leads his team in rushing, 2 huge runs there right out of the weather delay to get into the zone for Coastal, and the Mountaineers just continuing to do what they do. 35 points here in this first half, over 300 yards of offense. They're doing it with their quarterbacks. They're doing it with their multitude of running backs, offensive line, making
the field house, as this is a group that you take a look there and see them walking down. We hadn't seen any team this season make that walk. It's there for them pregame, with obviously the construction going on in the north end zone, and then at halftime as well. And with the lightning delay and then halftime, they've now had to make that trot 2 times. Not an easy walk down, Pierre.
But it hadn't deterred them from doing well offensively. It has been one of those halves, over 500 yards combined for these 2 teams. 206 for the Chanticleers, 314 for the Mountaineers. And oh, by the way, 56 points as you take a look at the running back comparison. C.J. Marable, 72 yards on 8 carries and a touch. Darrington Evans, not as many yards at 45, but 2 touchdowns, making it count, or making it happen where it counts, rather. They're going to need big gains from both of those two. They want to come out on top. The Mountaineers get the ball back here to start the second half. Look for this offensive line to pick up where they left off. They can go up 3 scores here. It'd be huge.
It sure would be. Coastal Carolina on the other side's hoping that they'll stop this Appalachian State offense that's been so deadly this season and get the ball back in the hands of their offense with a chance to cut into this lead. Miles Prosser out there to kick this away. And back to return for Appalachian State, Darrington Evans and Thomas Hennigan. Prosser with the boom. This is going to go over the head of Evans. And he says, hey, let's just go ahead and take the ball from the line of scrimmage.
What the Apps would love to do in this situation is methodically move down the field, take a chunk of time off this clock, end up in the painted area to add to this lead. These fans here will go nuts. It'll be a big-time drive here. Conversely, if you're Coastal, you have to stop this Mountaineer offense. Do not want to go down 21 with the way they are able to move the football.
Malik Williams comes in motion. It's going to be a flip. This is off the other side to Jalen Virgil. And now Virgil's dancing around trying to find some room. Still dancing, still dancing. He gets across, and he's still on his feet, and now is going to push the football forward. He covered a lot of ground that time, and anytime you see a play like that, most of the time there's a flag on the field. There is this time as well.
There's a lot of opportunity for blocks in the back, and holds and things like that when the play extends that long. Love to see the mindset of Eli Drinkwitz, though, coming out of the locker room break, trying to go for the jugular and add to this lead.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Well, if you're this Coastal defense, you have to be pretty excited about that, because now you have the Mountaineers behind. And it's never going to be easy, even if you have them in a 1st and 15 situation, to stop this offense. But every little bit you get, you'll go ahead and take.
Never easy, but a lot better to get them behind the sticks and off schedule.
Thomas looking off to his left. Now he's going to toss down the middle. He has Malik Williams, and anytime they get behind schedule, they get right back on schedule pretty soon after.
When you are in a situation where you're playing zone defensively, one thing you cannot do is allow the quarterback to sit in the pocket clean, have all the time in the world to find an open receiver, because that's what a zone is designed to do. There are going to be openings as the clock goes off in the quarterback's mind. You got to get pressure and get the ball out of his hands early.
Evans rushing ahead. He went a while before he was even touched, and now he's close to midfield, as this Appalachian State offensive line has to just be a dream to run behind, because you know that you're going to have a few yards before anybody makes contact with you, and then at that point, it's whether or not you can make someone miss.
But this offensive line understands how important this drive is. If you get this team down 21, they are comfortable putting the ball on the ground, not putting it in the air. This may sew it up for the Mountaineers.
The handoff here again to Evans. Once again, he has some nice room, and he does get across the 50-yard line.
They've been doing the job all day long. You see my man Darrington Evans is Zach Thomas here, very efficient, 16 for 18, 242, 2 tugs, just doing a tremendous job as we have a Chanticleer on the turf. Never like to see that.
So we'll check on him and be back with you here in a moment. A look there at Coastal Carolina trying to decide how they're going to attack this Appalachian State offense this drive. And Pierre, that's a question that if they can figure it out, I think every other team across the country would like to know it as well, because when you have as many weapons as App State does, it just makes it difficult to do anything, because you know that whether you have the first guy out there, or the second string or third string, or the first target, second, third, one of them's going to have the ability to hurt you.
It's almost pick your poison. You know that they love to run the football, so you try to come in and load the box, but when you do that, they've got one of the more talented receiving cores in the conference, and so they do what they're doing to the Chanticleers today, 242 through the air. Which one are you going to try to take away from this team?
It's a handoff here to Darrington Evans. He's tripped up almost incidentally there, as getting him that time was Sincere Evans, who was in a fight with Henry Pearson, but it works nonetheless, and now it's a 2nd and 12.
Fantastic play call right there for the Chanticleers, and then just the physicality of Evans being able to take on the lead blocker, knock him into the running back to bring him down for a loss.
That was almost a domino effect that time. Henry Pearson should have gotten credited with the tackle, but he doesn't want it, so we'll give it to Sincere Evans. Thomas fades back in the pocket, has all day long. He's looking over the top, and we're going to see a flag come in late. And is that a flag? No. I saw a little bit of debris on the ground. I guess that's just a leaf out there, and thought it might have been one. Jalen Virgil certainly wanted one, but the officials are going to say it's just good coverage that time. What do you say, Pierre?
Well, Chandler Chris climbed the ladder. Only problem is he got there just a bit too early, but it's only PI, partner, if they call it, so that's just great coverage.
Oh, goodness. Maybe saying it was an uncatchable ball as well. The crowd here not happy with it, but it's going to make it a 3rd and 12. Thomas going off to the right. He has Thomas Hennigan, and Hennigan's pushed down that time as Sterling Johnson, the nose tackle, gets him on the outside.
And right there's a big non-call on the 2nd down because it sets up a 3rd and long situation for the Mountaineers, and they are not able to move the sticks and keep this drive going. It was a huge drive for both ball clubs. That time, the Chanticleers coming out on top and preserving what is just a 14-point deficit. They're hoping to get the ball back in the hands of Fred Payton, put it in the painted area, and cut into this lead.
I don't know if you can say just how big that was, as a fair catch is called this time. That's Kyon Tyler, and he makes it. The crowd letting the officials know how they feel about that last call. But now, Pierre, well, you got your stop if you're Coastal Carolina. You sit here, or just underway in the 3rd quarter, and you're going to send your offense back out there. And thus far in this game, they've shown the ability to move the ball against this App State defense.
They're confident in this environment that they can move the ball against this defense. They've done it all afternoon long. Now into the evening, they'll see if they can keep it up. But you know, Ted Booth had to make some adjustments in the locker room. We'll see what those adjustments are and if they can slow down this Chanticleer rushing attack.
The fake here. Payton's going to run up the middle. He moves along, and he's brought down. But Fred Payton with a nice gain on 1st down, as prior to that play, you saw Akeem Davis-Gaither, his 5 tackles and 1 sack in this game. He's going to have to be a leader at this defense, and these guys are going to have to come together here for a big drive against this Coastal offense. C.J. Marable to the right of Payton. And it's going to be Marable that gets the handoff, but App State's defensive line with a good bit of resistance that time, so no yards are gained.
It's a nice job right there by the front 7 of the Mountaineers on the prior play. It's a lead draw right there for the quarterback, getting an extra blocker into the scheme. Payton takes advantage of it for a 1st down. Mountaineers there stout on 1st down, stopping C.J. Marable. Chanticleers would love to get him going here in a second.
Payton looking to pass this time, throws over the top, and great coverage from the Mountaineers. That's getting a big high 5 on the outside was Shamar Jean-Charles.
Did a terrific job. Did the boundary corner. They put you in the boundary because it's the easiest play to make on the field. He does a great job there. Take a look at Fred Payton, 8 of 15 on the day. Buckle one through the air, a touch. More comfortable are the Chanticleers when they can keep the ball on the ground, when they can be balanced and keep you on your heels when you don't know what's coming.
We've seen him look for Javon Hiley in this spot before in this game. He's lined up to his left, and a flag comes for the snap.
Full start. Offense, number 4, 5-yard penalty.
That is not what you want to see if you're head coach Jamie Chadwell.
It's Isaiah Likely gets a head start out of the blocks there on 3rd down. It's already tough enough when you got 3rd and long. Now when you go 3rd and 15 on the play for an offense that's just not built to get those chunk plays unless someone is out of position within the rushing attack. Very difficult to pick up these 3rd and long situations.
Marable's going to go in motion. Peyton waits for him to get lined up, and now he calls for the football. Appalachian sending all sorts of guys off to the right side. Josh Thomas, the first one to get to him, and App State does indeed come up with the stop if the flag on the field is not against the Mountaineers.
And that's going to be a hold on the Chanticleer offensive line. Mountaineers will, of course, decline this.
Offense, number 62. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
That's games up front by the Mountaineers as you see all types of confusion on the offensive line for the Chanticleers. Fred Payton doing what he can to evade the rush, step up in the pocket, but the speed of the Mountaineer defense just overwhelming. They bring them down in the open field and force a stop of their own. How about this, partner? The defense is stepping up here in the second half. They said no more of the shenanigans from the first half. We came to play ball too.
The adjustments have been made thus far as Prosser booms this away. And no chance of a return that time for Thomas Hennigan, so the Mountaineers will have pretty favorable field position when we return. They had a long day as well with their arrival time at the stadium this morning, and now Coastal Carolina is hoping that their defense can get another big stop. Pierre told you a moment ago it's been the defenses that have made the adjustments here thus far in the second half, as this time the handoff goes to Williams Jr. and he darts ahead for a few.
As potent as this Mountaineer offense is, the last thing you want to do is give them a short field. Not only do they start on the right side of the 50, but inside the 45-yard line, you're up 14. Cannot afford to go down another score in this one because your offense is just not built to come back from a 21-point deficit. The Chanticleer defense has to bow up and come up big in this spot.
Dietrich Harrington now behind Thomas. He's going to get the handoff. Harrington slips up, but gets a few more. And a helmet's off on the play. As trying to negotiate with the official is LaQuavius Paul, the senior linebacker. But he's going to have to run off the field for this next play.
This Mountaineer offensive line doing the job here in the second half, just making huge holes for these running backs.
And they love doing that. Dietrich Harrington darts ahead, and he's going to get another Mountaineer first down.
See the hole right here in the middle of the offensive line, and Dietrich Harrington knows exactly what to do with the football.
And now this time we see Malik Williams that's going to gain a couple. Positive plays continuing to come for this App State offense, as now once again they're in Chandler State in field goal range.
Didn't rush for many yards there in the first half, just 91, but now a concerted effort by Eli Drinkwitz to put the ball in his running back's hands, let the offensive line take over, keeping them honest with those perimeter throws, but this offensive line has been impressive.
Running on the opposite side, Dietrich Harrington has space and he has the end zone, as now the Mountaineers take the 3-touchdown lead.
On cue, this offensive line must have heard me and said, we're going to continue to do what we do. Nice job up front on the right side there. Bear Hunter, Cole Garrison doing a tremendous job of opening up the hole for Dietrich Harrington, who just allows his athleticism to take over. That is the big drive for the Mountaineers to put this team down 21, who loves their triple option principles. Now you put them in a situation they don't want to be in, having to put the ball in the air.
Staten good with the extra point. That is the first career touchdown for Dietrich Harrington. And his teammates are glad to see him find himself in the end zone for a running back for the Mountaineers once again. 42-21, they lead. Well, Pierre, you see Cameron Peoples right there, an injury earlier this season for the Mountaineers, as he was supposed to be one of the guys that was dominating that backfield for Appalachian State. But the guys that have stepped up with his absence in Dietrich Harrington, Marcus Williams Jr. have done an incredible job.
Dietrich Harrington punctuating that last drive. Cannot give an offense that is that explosive, short fields like the Chanticleers did. App State Mountaineers taking advantage, taking control of this game at this point. They have got to have a response and a score on this drive.
But there is still an eternity left in this game, as we still have 8 minutes and 33 seconds left in the third quarter, and then a whole fourth to play. So for Jamie Chadwell and his crew, you've got your eyes on getting in the end zone here this drive, and then maybe a turnover or a stop or something to get the ball back in your offense's hands.
They've done well offensively, just hadn't had the number of stops that they've needed to have in this football game to be competitive.
Payton with the handoff here to Marable, and Marable stopped. CJ Marable in this game with a few long runs has gotten himself over 73 yards, and he has that touchdown as well. But if you take away that 42-yard rush, Appalachian State has done a pretty good job with him, and we also haven't seen maybe as much of him as I think we expected coming in, with the rest of his backfield getting 14 carries.
Big plays kill defenses, and you're seeing it on both sides of the football here today.
Payton fakes the pitch. Now he's going to toss to the outside to Marable, and he has the first down and a lot more as he swings his body across the 50-yard line.
Now you see why C.J. Marable leads this team, and not only rushing but passing. Just a simple swing route, and does a tremendous job of making Noel Cook miss there. And then Shamar Jean-Charles continues up the sideline. Just a swing route, but turns it into a huge gain. That's why he's so valuable to this offense. They have got to get him involved if they want to get back into this football game.
This coaching staff could not say enough good things about him this week, saying he's one of those guys that you just love in every aspect. You love what he does on the field. He can do everything out there. He plays on all 4 units. Does everything for the crew off the field as well. He's a great leader. You wish you had 11 of him to be on the field every single play.
Also said he's their best special teams player as well. So he just does it all for this Coastal Carolina team. They have got to make him a major factor in this second half.
They're going to hand it off to him once again. The initial spot he was looking for didn't work, but he does get a few yards as the Chanticleers creep closer and closer towards that black and gold end zone.
Love the way the Chanticleers are just sticking true to who they are, keeping the ball on the ground. Got a Mountaineer down on the play, and you never like to see that for any side.
I can't get a good view of who that is for App State, as you see Coastal there discussing where they sit right now. And this is a group that has a lot of belief. It's a group that's led by Jamie Chadwell here this season. As Pierre told you, he was the interim coach when the legendary Coach Moglia took a medical leave back in 2017. The 2018 Broyles Award nominee, as you see Ryan Huff helped off the field. That's the award given to college football's top assistant coach. He was the associate head coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterbacks coach for the 2017-2018 year. He served as the interim head coach back in 2017, went 3-9 when Coach Moglia went on his medical sabbatical. He was officially hired January 18th, 2019 to take over this program, and he had a lot of success at Charleston Southern, finished 4th in the FCS National Coach of the Year voting in 2015. He was named the Big South Coach of the Year 3 times, led him to 2 different conference titles and the FCS playoffs as well. So they're happy to have him in Conway. Peyton's gonna go to the outside, right at the sticks. The toe tap before he goes out of bounds is Tequil Holmes.
Success on the ground has allowed the pass game to open up for the Chanticleers there. Going back to the play before, if you're a Mountaineer supporter, you don't want to see Ryan Huff going into that tent. They're already down a man in Desmond Franklin, all Sun Belt selection a season ago. He's out of this one. Ryan Huff steps in his place. Now he goes to the sideline. You got Caden Smith now stepping into that role. We'll see if Coastal Carolina tries to exploit that area.
App State's finding out how much depth they have as Peyton rushes off the left. Check that right. Now he has a man open, splitting ahead, and being tackled on the play is Jeremiah Miller, the redshirt sophomore, 6 foot, 195 pounds from Monroe, North Carolina.
Tremendous job by Peyton, evading the rush, not looking to run the football,
Holding.
just extending the play. Extending the play with his legs to get the ball down the field, but it will all be for naught as there's a holding at the line of scrimmage, which will push the Chanticleers back 10 yards. Boy, those penalties are drive killers. That's one thing that this Chanticleer coaching staff made clear to us. We cannot beat ourselves, can't have penalties, can't have turnovers against a team that is so good in the App State Mountaineers.
And this is a Coastal group coming in that was so strong at not getting those penalties. 14th in the country, in fact. As now off the right side, CJ Marable twirls around before Noel Cook can get him out of bounds.
Nice gain there on first down, but when you backed up 10 yards, even though you get a 7-yard gain, it's still 2nd and 13. Why those penalties are so huge. Get a look at the 1-2 punch of CJ Marable, Fred Payton. This offense will go as far as those two take it.
We have not seen Bryce Carpenter in this game. He went over 100 yards rushing last week against UMass. The co-quarterback here for Coastal Carolina, it's been all Fred Payton. And now off to the outside once again, it's Tequil Holmes with the catch. And Coastal Carolina is going to get themselves in a 3rd and 7.
Can you blame Coach Chadwell for keeping Peyton in the game? The way this offense has just been moving the football, plenty of yards, 21 points on the day. You don't want to disrupt that flow by taking out the catalyst for it in Fred Payton.
We told you at the start of this one that Peyton really struggled last year in Conway against App State. He's showing this group just how much he's grown throughout this contest. He has pressure coming his way. He evades it. Now he tosses ahead, has a man, and a helmet came off on the play. As that's an App State defender that's helmet came off, but that is another catch and a first down for Jeremiah Miller.
Terrific play design right there for the Chanticleers. You get a bunch set. You allow the speed and athleticism of the Mountaineers to work against them. Everything flows to the right. Then you just bring Miller across the field against the grain. He's wide open to pick up a pivotal first down to keep the Chanticleers drive alive and their hopes of staying in this game alive.
Peyton has all sorts of pressure from the Mountaineers, and he is wrapped up. Elijah Dirasuba and Noel Cook there. And Fred Payton's going to have nightmares of them after the way that that play closed down.
One great play call deserves another. You get one from the Chanticleers on the prior play. Now one from Ted Root and the Mountaineer defense. He brings pressure off the left side of that offensive line for the Chanticleers, and they bring down Peyton for the big loss.
Fred Payton calling for the football. Now he stands alone in the pocket, goes to the outside. He has Miller despite 2 defenders being there for the Mountaineers, and that is close to the first down marker.
That was great coverage initially right there by Sean Jolly. If he'd have just got his head around, maybe could have picked that ball off, but nice ball there by Fred Payton on the outside shoulder where Jolly can't get to it. Set themselves up to convert this 3rd down here. This may be 4 down territory though, partner.
It might be. And of course, that being the start of the third down marker, or the start of the marker, I should say. So now a 3rd and 10 after being in that 2nd and 20. Peyton drops back, goes ahead. A wide receiver that has not caught a ball yet in this game. That is Larry Collins Jr. Check that. Collins has had a few, but App State's defense there to get him. And now it's decision time for Coastal Carolina, as it looks like the Chanticleers are going to bring out the field goal unit.
Play so nice, they had to call it twice. They get the bunch set, get all the momentum flowing one way, and then bring the 3rd man in the bunch back across the field. But the Mountaineers learned from their mistake earlier in the drive on 3rd down, and Josh Thomas is there to bring down the receiver.
So it's Massimo Biscardi that has the attempt here for Coastal. And his field goal is good. So the Chanticleers get points on that drive, and that'll make it a 42-24 game. But Pierre, the way that this App State offense is rolling right now, I wonder if a field goal is going to be enough. Still plenty of time, and you have to trust your defense. Be glad to get the points, but you also have to send that App State offense back out on the field.
First things first, you got to get the points on the board, which they did. Now, do you kick it to this Mountaineer team and give their offense a chance, or maybe try to catch them off guard here with maybe an onside kick, a pooch that you can recover? But as you said, they've got all the momentum. Does this Mountaineer offense, tough to give them the ball back in this spot.
Prosser with the kick as the music continues to play. And Darrington Evans catches, fades back. Now he runs ahead. Evans has some room off the left side. Darrington trying to put on the burners, and he's going to get close to midfield. Unbelievable.
Darrington Evans, so deadly with the football in his hands. He's got world-class sprinter speed. You see the patience at first, and then the burst through the hole. Patience again to set up the block, burst again. It is so hard to start and stop. I've only known 1 of the 2 football players, one namely being Barry Sanders, to possess that skill. That's what Darrington Evans has, and that's why he's a game breaker.
And that's why he's going to get a breather. But luckily, the rest of that running back stable, very capable out there. So now this Chanticleer defense has to go against the vaunted Mountaineer offense once again. Thomas looking to go over the top. It's a pickoff. Coastal has a guy waiting for it, and that is exactly what you didn't want to see if you're the Mountaineers, and a dream scenario for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. As Mallory Claiborne, and we told you about at the beginning of this game, gets his first interception this season. They throw it at him, and he makes them pay.
That's what you got to have, though, if you're the Chanticleers. You get the pressure on Zach Thomas. He's not able to step into the throw, and so is underthrown right to Mallory Claiborne, who knows exactly what to do with it. You give this potent offense a short field. You're only down 18 at this point. Got a chance to cut it to a 2-score lead. That's what you had to have. They've had a hard time stopping this offense all day long. They're able to come up with the turnover here. Huge in this situation.
What a change of events that time. Claiborne, the 5'11", 190-pound redshirt senior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hands to the face, original passing team. Half the distance to the goal line will be added to the end of the run. First down.
And to throw salt in the wound for the Mountaineers, you get a 15-yard hands to the face penalty. Putting this potent offense at the 15-yard line. Fred Payton has to be rubbing his hands together, licking his lips, ready to get into the painted area. The Chanticleers can put the ball in the zone here. It is a whole new ball game, partner.
It sure is, and there is so much time left in this one. So Coastal Carolina liking where they sit right now. Peyton calls for it a few times, but doesn't really want it. Now he does this time. It's a toss to the right. That's Marable, and Marable gains a few before being shoved out of bounds.
Triple option look there from the Coastal Carolina Chanticleer. C.J. Marable, a lot of times the pitch man in there where he can utilize his speed on the edge, the speed of the Mountaineers. And the sophomore Trey Cobb from his middle linebacker position, able to run him down and push him out for a minimum gain.
This App State defense trying to get a huge stop here against Coastal Carolina. Being put with their backs against the wall per se. They're trying to rise to the challenge. Peyton stands alone in the backfield. He's looking for the end zone. He has a man as that's incomplete. Was trying to find Javon Hiley.
What a tremendous job by Shamar Jean-Charles. Great ball skills to see the ball into the hands of Hiley and then poke it right out of there. Shamar Jean-Charles in the offseason. A lot of question marks with these cornerbacks for the App State Mountaineers. You lose two guys who should be playing on Sundays. Shamar Jean-Charles was ready for the challenge, and he shows you there on that play.
So now third down as the crowd gets involved once again. Peyton's gonna keep it himself. He's trying to weave around. Fred Peyton with the will gets into the end zone. Oh my goodness.
How about Fred Peyton with the vision to the hole, seeing the cutback lanes and then using his legs to get into the end zone, and the strength at the end to take two defenders with him across the goal line. That is a huge response, huge play and individual effort for Fred Peyton.
And now he's going to stay on the field as the Chanticleers might be looking at going for two here in this situation.
Cut this thing to a 10-point lead where you only need a field goal and a touch to tie it up. With the way this Mountaineer offense has been so potent, every point is precious.
The Chanticleers are going to go for two, and it looks like they want to go quick. Fred Peyton angry because the officials are letting App State go ahead and line up. He looks at the sidelines in frustration. He'll have to regroup himself here quickly. And that might have thrown everything off for Coastal Carolina. As now they're gonna take a look back at the touchdown, make sure that his knee wasn't down before he tried to put that ball across the goal line.
This one will be close. You saw the strength of Fred Peyton to get across that goal line there. You see the vision and then the patience to the hole and then the strength right there. Got to get a closer look there to see if his knee was down before he crossed the goal line, but that's a quarterback showing a lot of grit and toughness to get into the painted area.
He had a lot of bodies in his way before he was going to be able to get to the end zone. And it almost looked like he didn't even care that they were there. As we'll show you another angle.
See, here's his knee goes down. May have been a bit short. It's hard to see from that angle.
Touchdown.
Not enough to reverse it there, so it stands. Now a big-time two-point conversion attempt. Him 49 seconds left in the third quarter. Tough to say the 2 points are big in this area, but the way points are scored in this game, each and every point is precious.
Chanticleers are attempting the two-point conversion.
All right, the crowd gets involved once again. Fred Peyton, C.J. Marable to his right. Two guys come in motion. Now they're off to the right side. Hiley's going to go in motion as well. Peyton runs off to the right side. App State all over him. The ball is loose, and it's going to be picked up. So the Mountaineers stop them with the two-point conversion, and you see the pump of the fist there from head coach Elijah Drinkwitz on the sideline.
No Cook comes off that right side, full head of steam. Fred Peyton doesn't even see him coming, loses the ball there on the back end as you see him just come around the corner there, and the collision at the football. who else is around the ball but Demetrius Taylor had himself a huge game a week ago, having himself a terrific season. It's a big stop for the Mountaineers to preserve a 12-point lead. Now offensively, you come out, just had a turnover, first of the game. Get yourself back into the flow of the game. Let this offensive line pick up where they left off. The last time you made it into the end zone, they have been phenomenal.
You see the scoring drive there, the 11-yard Fred Payton touchdown rush. 3 plays, 15 yards, 45 seconds. We got a good one, folks. 12 points, 49 seconds left here in the third quarter as App State awaits the kickoff return. Miles Prosser going with a squib here as that'll be caught. And rushing ahead is Thomas Hennigan. And Pierre, would you say that was a success or not?
I would say not. Anytime you're near midfield, don't want to give an explosive offense that great of field position, especially an offense that can strike as quickly as the Mountaineers. Look for the Mountaineers, though, to kind of settle Zach Thomas down after his second interception of the season.
5 yards will be added to the end of the run. First down.
It's another 5 yards added on to the end of that run, which will put them right at midfield. But let this offensive line do their thing. Let Zach Thomas get his confidence back in this game, and let your talented stable of backs do what they do.
13 penalties now in this game as the App State offense comes back out on the field. Zach Thomas looking to respond after the interception. It's a toss here to Jalen Virgil. He's trying to get the corner, and he cannot get that way as Alex Spillum, the safety, gets him by the ankles.
That just shows you the speed of this Chanticleer's defense. Jalen Virgil, world-class sprinter speed, finished second in the Sun Belt Conference a season ago in the 100 meters. There ran down the sideline to sideline play as a defensive guy. You gotta love it.
And this Chanticleer defense has to be thrilled with what they're seeing from the offense on the other side of the ball, and the way that they're moving it. It's got to give them a lot of confidence that they can go out there. It looks like they're just going to let it tick here to the fourth quarter are the Mountaineers. And we're going to have a fun final quarter coming your way. App State up 42-30. We've been with you since 3:30. We still got 15 more minutes coming your way. A great shot from our ESPN Plus crew showing you the App State defense. Watching the Mountaineer offense head back out on the field. A fresh quarter here at Kidd Brewer Stadium. 2nd and 12 for Zach Thomas as he hands off to Darrington Evans, who rushes off the right. And this defensive line for Coastal Carolina has been pretty impressive all day.
Well, they're big up front, they're strong, they're fast, quick at the point of attack, and they're hard to handle. This offensive line of App State has done the job. Buck 42 on the ground, giving Zach Thomas enough time to go for 246 through the air, and they would love to finish this one strong.
Thomas here in a 3rd and 10. He has pressure coming his way. A guy gets a paw on him, now coming from behind and making the tackle for Coastal Carolina. That's gonna be big number 45, Chris Evans. And there is a flag on the field.
Interested to see what this one is. It's behind the line of scrimmage. Looks like it's gonna be a hold on the Mountaineers. Looking to see if the Chanticleers will accept.
Personal foul, offense number 51. Penalties decline, 4th down.
We apologize for the sound of the crowd mic, or of the referee mic that time, having some speaker issues here at the stadium, but just think the people here, they can't shut that off, so they just had to listen to it just along with you. All right, so App State is going to punt here as Xavier Sabach is back out. Now Coastal got another stop, Pierre. Let's see what they do here with special teams. That's Kyon Tyler that's back to return, and he's gonna call fair catch. He makes the catch, and now the Coastal offense gonna head back out on the field. How about these Chanticleers? Only down 12 as they get the ball back in their offense's hands. You see the Coastal Carolina sideline there watching as the offense takes over once again. And what a big drive this is for the Chanticleers.
Love to see the defensive adjustments in this one. 56 points in the first half combined, just 16 so far in the second.
Fred Payton fakes and he pays for it as Demetrius Taylor's there to get him.
Demetrius Taylor, so good off the football, does a great job of using his hands, his strength to get off of the block and bring it down Fred Payton for the loss. What you want to do if you're the Mountaineers, keep these Chanticleers off schedule and behind the sticks.
Demetrius Taylor coming off 2 different National Defensive Player of the Week honors. The first player in a millennium to have the effort he did last week against North Carolina. I'll tell you about that momentarily. Payton fakes, now he's gonna run. He's trying to get away. Mountaineers are everywhere. And now a few more Mountaineers come and will get to him. And Demetrius Taylor just a week ago, he was the first player in the 2000s with 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble return for a touchdown, and an interception in the same game.
That's what we like to call a heck of a ball game, partner. You won't see that too many times. Big time play for him. The Mountaineers down a week ago, 7-6 to the Tar Heels. He comes off the corner, gets a sack, strips the quarterback, picks it up, and runs into the end zone. One of the best individual efforts you'll see all year.
The Chanticleers in 3rd and 9. Payton calls for the football. They couldn't get it off in time.
It's like Payton was anticipating the snap.
Offense, number 4, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Never came, and Isaiah Likely also looking for that snap.
They saw the frustration there from the quarterback of Coastal Carolina, just dropping the football on the turf as soon as it landed in his hands. He knew it was going to happen.
Tough situation to be in if you're the Chanticleers. 3rd and long. You're at the 6-yard line. You know pressure has got to come. Not used to throwing the football all that much, but you need a big first down here.
Payton runs off to his left. He's in the end zone. Now he finds space. Has a man. No, he doesn't. And that's Jamar Jean Charles. And Jean Charles is off the left side. And he's in the end zone. What a play from the Mountaineers cornerback.
That's why we said it's a tough situation to be in. You're not used to throwing the football all that much. You got to have a first down to stand this game. So you try to roll the pocket. You try that spread out flood pass. But Sean Jolly, Johnny on the spot, just sits down in that zone, comes up with a big time pick and knows exactly what to do with it once he has the ball in his hands. Incredible play. The defense is stepping up here in the second half. Partner, you gotta love it.
Those 3s and those 8s look so similar from up here. How about Sean Jolly that time, as the point after is good from Chandler State, and now the Mountaineers have the 49-30 lead as we look back at Payton once again in trouble. Jolly there waiting for it, and he found a way around all the Chanticleers to get in the end zone. Well, those fans are happy. Their crew has 49 points in this contest, and Pierre, that's what happens when you get a team like Coastal Carolina that runs the ball a lot of the time to get in that situation where they basically have to throw. Payton tried to make the miracle play, and Sean Jolly was there waiting for it.
Nice job of Sean Jolly just sitting down in the cover 2 look. Payton thought he had the out route on the sideline, but like we said earlier in the game, those cover 2 looks, there's a corner always lurking in the flats. Sean Jolly does a terrific job of stepping in front and picking it off there. As you see the sprint out there, Payton thinks he has a receiver to the inside, but there, the corner just sitting in the flats on it. Sean Jolly, and then the speed to get to the corner and into the end zone for the pick 6. And it is tough to beat a team when they're already scoring 42 points on offense, but when they're scoring on defense as well, almost impossible. We'll see if the Chanticleers can come up with a big-time drive here.
The They still have plenty of time in this game with 11:59 remaining. But now they find themselves down by a few possessions once again.
Delay game, offense, number 9, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And those are the things that you can't afford. As you see along the sidelines, Jamie Chadwell with his hands in the air. Not too happy about that, but now he says, all right, guys, we got to get back to work.
Never a good thing when you get a delay of game penalty coming off the sidelines. Jamie Chadwell's like, that clock has got to restart.
The handoff here to Marable. App State's defensive line there, as it seems like most of the time in this game from both of these defensive lines, there hasn't been a lot open up the middle. We've seen 6 or 7 hats there every single time they've tried to go up the gut.
The identity of these two defenses, be strong against the run, especially up the middle, and then swarm the football. You see it there again for the Mountaineers, but those 5-yard penalties, 10-yard penalties, they don't seem like much. But when you get 4 yards on the play and you go to 2nd and 11 rather than 2nd and 6, that is huge when you're trying to keep the chains moving.
Peyton has pressure coming. He gets the ball way before he can get it off. And that time, that was Shamar Jean-Charles that was in coverage. And Jean-Charles with a great job that time of breaking up the pass play.
There again, that cover 2 look, and you've got a cornerback just sitting in the flats waiting on the out-breaking route. There, Shamar Jean-Charles does a tremendous job of playing the football and not the man coming on the inside and knocking that one away from the receiver.
So now another 3rd and long for Coastal, and another situation that they don't want to be in. This App State defense so antsy to get after the quarterback here. Toss to the outside, it's Marable, and a great form tackle on the outside by Jean-Charles.
About the vicious Samu zone. Shamar Jean-Charles coming up with the vicious hit on the swing route to C.J. Marable. 2 big plays back-to-back for Jean-Charles there. See that cover 2 look yet again. You think you got the flat, but as long as you can wrap up and make a play as a cornerback, you will be in a position to do what you need to do. That's a big stop. 3 and out that time for the Mountaineers. If they get the ball offensively, they can put points on the board. This one may be all but over.
Thomas Hennigan back to return the punt, as Miles Prosser kicks this one away, and Hennigan decides that he wants to run with it, and that's a good decision. Thomas Hennigan gets to the 40-yard line before he's brought down, as he just slid across a little crease there. And now App State will head back out on offense.
Well, what can't Thomas Hennigan do? He's a threat in the passing game, special teams-wise. He's just that. You see him just take it right up the middle. So tough to bring down in the open space. Another short field for the Mountaineers, starting on the right side of the 50 with such a potent offense. Do not want to help them out by giving them a short field.
The officials make the adjustments, and now we're ready to go. Henry Pearson goes to the left of Thomas. The handoff to Harrington. Dietrich Harrington, who had his first career touchdown earlier in this game, gains a couple for the black and gold.
What the Mountaineers want to do is take control of this game on the ground. Chew up that clock, add to this lead, which could be insurmountable with the way that the Chanticleers have struggled to pass the football in today's football game. But you see this offensive line just continuing to get stronger and stronger as the game grows long. But this front 7 of the Chanticleers, they are up to task. You get a good look there. Zach Thomas, he's had himself a pretty doggone good football game, partner.
He sure is, and this is what these offensive linemen live for, the chance to drain this clock as Dietrich Harrington bounces off a defender, and now he's brought down short of the 30-yard line. We knew that time of possession was going to be a huge stat coming into this game. Coastal Carolina does lead that 28-23 to 21-22 at this point in the contest, but They'd probably like to lead it by a lot more than that even. They absolutely have dominated it thus far this season, as this is a group coming in that's averaged 35-18 with the ball. That's 15th in the country.
This is a good Chanticleer defense. Again, held Kansas to just 7 points. Today, the Mountaineers just doing the job.
Dietrich Harrington bounces off a defender before he slides across for a few more.
Going to be dangerously close to a first down there. Partner, see if they'll measure it here or call it fourth down.
Looks like they're going to say it's 4th and 1, and now it is decision time. And Zach Thomas will head back out on the field. You heard the subtle boos from the crowd here at Kidd Brewer Stadium. They want to see their team put their foot on the gas pedal. This offensive line says, we live for this situation. Give it to us. And they've got it.
Didn't seem like much of a decision there, partner. It's Eli Drinkwitz. Just call him Click Clack because he loves to roll the dice on fourth down. This time trying to put the game away. So he gets behind that offensive line. Great push, and then get some help from the backs to get the first down there.
Oh, my goodness. I hope people start calling him Click Clack. That is hilarious.
Hot hand in the dice game. If you've never been to Vegas, that's the sound they make once you roll them across that table.
Thomas creeps closer to Noah Hannon. Now he backs away. The handoff's going to go to the left side. This is Marcus Williams Jr. that's pushed out of bounds.
Number 26, Marcus Williams Jr. on the carry.
And App State continuing to tick time off of this clock.
This defense, they're winning the time of possession battle is Coastal, but they've been on the field a ton of snaps. You can see them slightly start to wear down. But that pride, that passion, we talked to head coach Jamie Chadwell. He said, this season, it doesn't matter what the score is. Our guys aren't going to give up. I don't know if that was the case a season ago, and you're seeing that fight from here tonight.
Williams Jr. trying to push off of one of his own offensive linemen to gain a few more. And now he's pushed down a little bit late. The crowd wants a flag. There isn't going to be one to be had. And a great job by the officials in this game. We thought maybe coming in it might be a little chippy back and forth, and watching the film of both of these teams this season, they've done a really good job of making sure that nothing's gotten out of hand.
When you got two teams that have a lot of pride, that play hard each and every snap, you got an opportunity for some chippiness to be there, but that's just two teams that play the game hard, play the game the right way.
Williams Jr. is still to the left of Thomas. And it's going to be Thomas that keeps it, and he slides across, and Zach Thomas converts another first down.
Well,
that clock just continues to tick. Excuse me, Pierre, and you're looking at just a classic App State offensive drive right here as they continue to creep closer and closer to the victory.
They go dive, they go dive, they go stretch zone, and then you forget the fact that Zach Thomas has a set of wheels on him. The defensive end squeezes down on the running back. Thomas makes the correct call by pulling the football, going around the left edge and picking up a big-time first down.
Corey Sutton comes in motion. The handoff goes to Williams Jr. He gets inside the far 5-yard line. And the Mountaineers now sit with a 2nd and 3.
See this hole here just open up for the Mountaineers. Marcus Williams Jr. not contacted until he's well down the field. That's just a telltale sign that your offensive line is just getting better and better as the game wears long.
Coastal has a player down on the field here, as that is LaQuavius Paul, the senior linebacker that is going to trot off the field.
Like to see him trot off. Never like to see anybody go down, but good sign when they trot off like that.
So for the Mountaineers rushing attack, Dietrich Harrington has a touchdown. Darrington Evans has 2. Marcus Williams Jr. has 1. possibly a Zach Thomas touchdown coming. He's the only one that's had a rush today that hasn't found himself in the end zone. You know, those wide receivers would like an opportunity, and Coastal as well would like a stop.
Clock continues to run here. Mountaineers trying to run it down as much as they can before they add some points to the board, they hope.
It is going to be Thomas that keeps it as he tries to find some space, and Thomas is going to get to about the 2-yard line. The Mountaineers wearing the gold helmets here today, as that's a first down for the black and gold. They're trying to go 1-0 when wearing those gold helmets with the black uniforms. You see Yosef on the side, their numbers opposite as well. And Coach Drinkwitz telling us yesterday that he loved telling them about the helmets this week because it gave them just that little extra motivation coming into the game. Guys always get excited when they get some new gear to wear. As this handoff goes to Marcus Williams Jr. He's in the end zone, and App State is over 50 points once again.
By the App State Mountaineers, they're not used to seeing their team go under center in this stadium, but Eli Drinkwitz does just that to punctuate this drive, and the offensive line do what they do. Marcus Williams Jr. just turns on the jets, hitting the corner and the pylon for the 6. And this one may be a bit out of reach for the Chanticleers at this point.
And this offense just continues to show how absolutely incredible it is, as this is right down the middle and makes it a 56-30 lead. That ties App State's highest point total this season. Marcus Williams Jr. in the end zone for the second time. Five touchdowns today between those 4 gentlemen you see on your screen. It's going to be an exciting Monday for the App State running back room, but then again, pretty much every day is exciting when you're in that running back room, as those guys just continue to have incredible efforts.
30 total points for those 3 running backs to match the total of the Chanticleers all day long. Just an incredible effort, and you can't give enough credit to the offensive line for the way that they've played today.
We've talked about the offense throughout this contest, but Pierre, how about highlighting the defense? This is a Coastal team that scored 62 points a week ago. They scored 46 the week before that, and the Mountaineers gave up 21 points in that first half, but since just 9 in the third quarter, and have held them scoreless here in the fourth with some huge plays throughout.
Chanticleer offense been tough to stop, but the Mountaineers have been up to the task in the second half, not only stopping the Chanticleers, but scoring themselves on a pick 6, looking to continue that trend here.
Javon Hiley with the catch as he gets the first down for Coastal Carolina. And although the Mountaineers lead by 26 points in this game, in our talks with Ted Roof, this is an area where he cares a lot about. He doesn't want to see this crew give up any points in this situation, even if the game might possibly be decided. Peyton goes to the outside. It's Hiley once again before Stephen Jones pushes him out of bounds.
You always want to finish the game the right way, especially at the end of the game. You gotta lead. You don't want to ever have your team feel like they can be comfortable, feel like they can relax. Even the second, third team guys, you want them to come in and have the same fight, the same vigor that the first team had. Ted Roof is looking from this bunch that's on the field now.
Peyton goes over the top. He finds C.J. Marable, and now Marable pushes ahead. He gets off a defender, and now he's inside the 25-yard line.
Nice looking play right there. Screen play there set up for C.J. Marable, blockers in front, but this one may be coming back here.
Personal foul, blindside block, offense number 72. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
A point of emphasis in college football this year: cannot have a blindside block. You see somebody coming and they don't see you.
Correction, the foul is on number 4.
Dangerous play. They're trying to get rid of it in football, period, but really in college football, that emphasis, a new rule this year. If you're running down the field, especially in the open field, those blindside blocks where you see defenders' feet go up in the air, trying to take that out of the game. I think it's a good call to kind of make the game a little bit safer for the student athletes.
Previous play is under further review.
They're going to go ahead and take a look at this one, as unfortunately for Marshall Lewis, and really any referee in college football, most of the time when they talk, people boo. That's got to be kind of disheartening every time you talk, people boo.
Comes with the territory,
right,
though, partner.
right.
These guys have gone out there and done a tremendous job all game long, trying to finish this thing off the right way. Even though it's 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, you got to make sure that you get the job done, and they're doing it here.
But you know, those kindergarten teachers, when they're teaching on Monday, or the doctors, or all the other great professions, they wouldn't want to have to do their job, and then as soon as they do it, somebody goes, boo!
Nature of the beast, though, partner. When you put on that zebra striped shirt, you gotta know that it's gonna come. At some point, somebody's gonna be happy with you. At some point, someone's gonna be disappointed with you. Just the nature of having so much division in the stadium. But I tell you who else has done the job. Ted Roof, all of the adjustments into the locker room, just been tremendous for this Mountaineer defense. Take a look back at this last play here. Nice job there by C.J. Mayer. But you see the blindside block right there at the top of the screen. Right there on Trey Cobb, catching him off guard.
In addition, there is targeting offense number 4. Number 4 is disqualified from the remainder of the contest. The 15-yard penalty has already been assessed.
Well, that is a big blow for Coastal Carolina.
Huge.
Isaiah Likely, the 6'4", 245-pound tight end from Malden, Massachusetts, is out for this game, and he's going to be out for the first half of the following one as well. He has 3 receptions, 35 yards, and a touchdown in this contest, and he's caught all 3 targets along with his blocking on the outside. So now Fred Payton will get out of bounds close to midfield.
Huge blow there on the play before for the Chanticleers, one of your leading receivers, a guy you look to in the red zone. You would love to have him in the first half of your next game. You face a tough Georgia State team who, as you said earlier, went up and got a win on Rocky Top. He will be out for the first half of that one on that targeting penalty.
And you know that Coastal coaching staff is really frustrated about that.
So late in the game.
They'll start at 0-0 against Georgia State, and right now they're trailing 56-30.
You hate for something to happen at any point in the game, but with 2 minutes 32 seconds left on the clock, and you get a penalty like that where you lose a guy for not only the rest of this game, but the whole first half of the next one. And then you pick up a cheap one, because you know in this year's game, again, a point of emphasis on targeting. Once you get to that 3rd targeting call, you're not only suspended for the remainder of that game, but the entire game after that. It's tough to see.
You see Coach Drinkwitz there putting up the sign to all the fans that have stuck around here at the stadium of how much further the Chanticleers have to get. And that's great communication between the head coach and the fan base.
Eli Drinkwitz got to love the way that not only his offense has performed in this game, but the way his defense has responded here in the second half. It's all about growth. You want to see your team get better and better. You not only saw him get better from last week to this one, but within the flow of the game, got to be happy with where your team is.
So 3rd and 1 here for Coastal Carolina and for this App State defense. Now the officials will move away, and the Chanticleers can get this play off. It's a handoff to Marable. He's stopped behind the line of scrimmage, but did he move forward to get enough?
How about that from the second unit? Getting the penetration, understanding the situation in the game is 3rd and short, and Tyler Bird does a tremendous job of penetrating the line of scrimmage, wrapping up Marable in the backfield, and stopping him on 3rd down there. Got to think Ted Roof is happy with the way the second unit has responded.
After that penalty from Coastal Carolina, this App State defense has been ready. They're going to try to get it once again, and this time, believe that C.J. Marable did get the first down.
That offensive line of Coastal just firing off the ball. Getting some great push, and C.J. Marable not playing around once he gets the ball in his hands, north and south, picking up that first down.
So now the Chanticleers remain perfect on 4th downs this season. 9 of 9. Good for 100%.
Incredible number, really, when you think about it.
Peyton's looking to go deep, showing off the arm strength, but it's over the head of his intended target, Jay Williams.
Well, he would love to have that one back because he had 2 men open in the middle of the field, both getting past all of the DBs. Just a little too much mustard down the field. Would love to put some more points on the board and get some confidence heading into next week.
Just a few ticks over a minute here left in this one. It's 2nd and 10 here for the Coastal Carolina offense. Peyton has some pressure coming his way. He has a man on the outside, and that is Javon Hiley, who has definitely stepped up in this contest. 5 receptions, that's gonna put him over 70 yards. And he's had 7 targets in this game.
Nice ball there from Fred Payton, putting just enough touch on it to get it over the top of the cornerback in that cover 2 look, and just enough to get it there before the safety has enough time to react. It's a big league throw.
He's clapping his hands for the ball. Now he stands alone in the pocket, throws to the outside, and he has a guy there as well, as that's going to be Shadell Bell, the redshirt senior tight end, 6'1", 230 from Decatur, Georgia. Getting the opportunity maybe in that situation with Isaiah Likely heading out of the game. And they love seeing Bell make that catch because they're going to need him next week. Peyton looking to his left. He has a man in the end zone, a beautiful toe-tapping catch, and that is successful for Jeremiah Miller, as the Chanticleers do get the touchdown here with under 30 seconds left in the game. And for Coastal Carolina, you're happy about being able to move down the field and have a successful touchdown drive. That'll help you as you move along in the season. For this App State defense and for Ted Roof, they're not happy.
Another beautiful touch pass there by Fred Payton, hitting his receiver in the corner of the end zone. Love to see him come back after missing those open receivers for the touch, to be able to get 3 straight nice passes, concluding with that touchdown pass. Again, it's not all about this week, so we see some extra activity, but the touch there to the back pylon for Fred Payton, finding his receiver in the back of the end zone. You love to have some confidence for your quarterback heading not only into next week, but the rest of the season. You have the confidence to stay with them the entire game. We didn't see the backup quarterback coming to the game. We've seen this 2-quarterback system all week long, and so the confidence that Peyton has, paramount.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, kicking team number 74. 15-yard penalty be assessed on the kickoff. That is number 74's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
So 27 seconds left in this one. You would assume that App State's just gonna kneel the ball after the kickoff if they get a chance at it and walk away. Wouldn't assume that Coastal would use any of their timeouts with this game in hand, but you never know.
this one may not be over for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. They're still playing to win. They look for an onside kick here or a way to try to get the ball back, put a few more points on the board before this one is over. If you're a Mountaineer fan, you're thinking why, but you're a Coastal Carolina supporter or you're on that sideline. It's not just about this week, it's about next week, the following weeks. Now you're in the championship portion of the season. You want to be playing as well as possible down the stretch here.
And valuable practice here as well, as it does look like the Chanticleers are going to try the onside kick, so the Mountaineers will use a timeout. They want to get their hands unit out there. It's a chance for them to practice this scenario and a chance for Coastal to be able to go after the onside kick as well. Such a valuable weapon when it's executed correctly. So despite the fact that the Mountaineers have the 19-point lead right now, both these crews still working on something.
Well, the last time the Mountaineers sent their hands team on the field, Darrington Evans fielded the ball and promptly went 45 yards into the end zone. So they'd love more practice at that. But for Coastal, just trying to get a nice bounce here, trying to get your team into some situations that they may see later on in the season where they'll need something like this to be able to get the ball and get back in a game. In the Sun Belt Conference, the team's so evenly matched, so good across the board. You never know when you'll be in this situation.
So Prosser with the onside kick. It has the high hop, and Thomas Hennigan has it land gently in those mitts. He's gonna kneel it down. And now the Mountaineers have probably just one more play left in this game.
This will be a good win for this App State Mountaineer team. 3-0 in non-conference play. Do have one more non-conference game later this year, but 3-0 so far in non-conference play. You know, it doesn't mean a hill of beans unless you do it during the championship portion of the season. All your goals at the beginning of the year, they begin with winning a Sun Belt championship. And it looks like they'll take the first step down the road that they hope is to a 4th straight Sun Belt title. Really amazing.
Jacob Huseman going to the outside. This ball is nearly picked off, but not getting his feet in bounds in time was Chandler Christ.
It's like the Mountaineers trying to work on some things as well. They put Jacob Huseman in the shotgun. Let him fire down the right side. Again, it's not just about this week. Long season ahead, long Sun Belt season. Got to make sure that your guys are ready when their number is called.
Huseman started last year at Coastal and led the Mountaineers to a victory in that contest. And this time we see the handoff go to Daytrick Harrington, and he slips up. So the clock is going to tick away. And with a game that started at 3:30 and is going to end just short of 9 o'clock, the App State Mountaineers are victorious 56-37 over the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
Big time win for the Mountaineers, getting the Sun Belt season started the right way. Huge game offensively, adjustments made defensively to shut down the Chanticleers here in the second half. Chanticleers looking to get back on track next week against Georgia State. Can't let one loss turn into two. But if you're Eli Drinkwitz, you gotta love the way this Sun Belt season has started.
A little bit of extracurricular activities between these two teams, but both the coaches getting out there and making sure that everybody's in at the end as we take a look back at some of the highlights. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Pierre Banks and our wonderful crew on ESPN+. I'm Harrison Battle signing off from Kidd Brewer Stadium, where the Mountaineers are victorious 56-37. They move to 4-0 on the campaign. Coastal falls to 3-2. We'll see you next time.